As a landscape architect, you really need to study what goes on in the public sector so that you know what you're getting into. Remembering that the consultancy contract protects both parties. So, for instance, if I'm forming an agreement with a property developer, I'll want some clear words in the agreement letter relating to termination. If they don't pay my fees on time, I have the right to terminate. So I want that written down. So it's not just the client who wants these things written down, the consultant even more wants these things written down for clarity. And as a general rule, the more that you write down at the beginning when you form the consultancy contract, the happier you're going to be. It's much easier to argue about them before you form the contract than after you've made the mistake or after something has gone wrong. It's a lot of paperwork, and it's never black and white. So that's why it's so important to spend enough time to formulate the contract in the right way. And that's where most young practices get it wrong. They tend to be too enthusiastic, too excited when they win a contract.
Oh yes, we'll employ everybody.
And then things are not managed properly, things go wrong, they end up spending all their time sorting out legal arguments, which is difficult. Because landscape is typically a small thing within any development project, it's rare for landscape to be the lead consultant. Parks and gardens maybe, but that's it. Normally I would look to hide behind the lead consultant. I never want to be the lead consultant. I want to be a sub-consultant. So I work for an engineer or an architect or somebody else who's taking the lead. And then I just provide special, because all the paperwork, all the project management, you didn't spend how many years in learning to design for you to end up doing paperwork. Much better to be small, agile, information heavy, sort of expertise, but don't waste your time doing paperwork. There's no glamour in being the lead consultant. You think, oh well, I'm in charge, I get my name on it, I get, all the money comes to me, all the hassle comes to you. You're the one ending up talking to the client all the time. Who can you trust when things get tough? And there are many times you find you have clients that you don't want. You think, I need clients, I need projects, but there are many that you don't want. And sometimes you're bidding for a contract, you're bidding for a consultancy contract, and you think, I don't want to win this. Actually, I would like my competitors to win this contract, because I know this client is so difficult. So if Jason's company gets the contract, that's great, because he's going to be tied up in paperwork for the next 3 years. And most consultancies have lists of property developers or clients that they won't work with because they're too aggressive. And most will try and develop long-term relationships with their clients. So you'll find in the small practices, most of them only have 3, 4, 5 clients, and will be doing multiple jobs for each of the clients. Because once you know the client, once they know you, you know how they operate. If you have a problem on this contract, maybe you solve it on the next contract. The things balance out over a long period of time. Where new clients, you need to be super careful and really know who you're dealing with. And that takes time, that takes patience, particularly in the Chinese market. The Chinese way of doing business is very different from the Western way of doing business. And developing trust is takes a very long time. So if you're looking to develop a relationship, you should be thinking about this relationship as a 10-year relationship rather than a one project relationship, because you build up trust over time, and it's not about money, it's about trust.